Hey y'all, so in this video, we're gonna go over mixing R&B vocals. Whether you're looking for new techniques to mix your R&B vocals or you just want your music to sound better, this video might just be for you. Let's go. Hey everybody, welcome back. Keith here. If you're new here, please hit the like button, subscribe button, and the notification bells for more videos like this. So this song that we're going to be looking at today is a song called Introvert by an artist by the name of Reese Siren. It's not out yet, but I'll put her information in the description below so you can definitely check her out. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to play some of the song and then we can kind of break down exactly what the vocals are doing, all of the many vocals that are going on. So I'll just hit play and then we'll go from there. Let's go.
I ain't never stole, I'm just super bold. Ahoy, you made it, show me for home. They want me to think I'm crazy. The truth is, I'm kind of amazing. I'm not your cookie cutter girl, straight out of space, and I jam your whole world. They want me to think I'm crazy. The truth is, I'm kind of amazing. I'm not your cookie cutter girl, straight out of space, and I jam your whole world.
Cool, so that's a little bit of the song, R&B pop type of song, and there's a lot of things that are going on, but on today, we are going to focus on the vocals. So in this particular session, we have kind of two areas where vocals are happening. We have the lead vocal and we have the background vocal. So the lead vocal is these two tracks right here, or these two tracks right here. And the backgrounds are all of these tracks right here. And I'll actually just change the color just for conversation's sake. So everything in red is the lead and everything in orange is the background vocals. So the first thing that I kind of want to go over is the background vocals. So let's listen to this track. I'll mute the lead altogether and let's just listen to what the background vocals are doing. Cool, so that's what the background vocals are doing. And even just looking at these tracks, the background vocals, they're all not doing the same thing. So there's actually three different things going on. The first set of background vocals was actually happening here is, you listen, they're actually just doubles of what the main vocal are doing. So these are just like supporting double tracks. And then we have right here, these two tracks are actually the harmony.
They want me. The truth is,
you know, and then here at the end, it's like,
I'm not.
Cool. And then the very last of that is this. So. So three different things going on as background vocals are concerned. So when you're attacking background vocals, it's very important that you consider the song in mind and kind of what you want to do when you're going to kind of mixing it or even recording it or just making the decision of how you want to handle each element in the song. So these background vocals, even though there are three different things going on, I chose to just treat them all as exactly one group. So, and you can do this different ways. You know, you could, if you wanted to, you could process every single track differently, or you could process just, you know, the double is the same, the harmony is the same, and then the kind of third, you know, background loop of harmony, you know, different as well in a whole different group. So you could process it three different ways, three different times. I chose to just do everything at once. So on each individual track, honestly, the only thing that's actually happening is we have Waves tune going on. It's not auto tune on this song. So we chose to do Waves tune to kind of get this effect. So and most of them are tuned exactly the same way. These are all for texture, so these aren't necessarily to um just tune the vocal in a sense. These are all for texture as well. So the speed is very fast. The transition is very fast as well. Um, background vocals for this song, we chose to really tune them hard. So that's how you get this effect. So on the doubles, you can kind of. They want me to think I'm crazy. So they're tuned fast enough that they don't sound too digitized. That's the same thing with the harmony. Here, they're tuned a little bit harder. They're tuned a little bit harder there only to actually serve itself as a loop. That's one way of differentiation. If you want to uh make all of the different parts of background vocals kind of sit differently in a mix, even though they may be vocally in the same area or even doing the same thing. Mess with your tuning settings. If you tune something harder or not, they'll sit more in a pocket, but obviously you'll definitely get that digitized T-Pain effect. So nevertheless, I have all of the background vocals going to this BGV bus right here. So this BGV bus is where all of the background vocals are going, and this is where all of the processing is actually taking place. So, I actually recorded all of these as well, so everything was already recorded through a 76. So it does have some compression on it, but when it comes to background vocals, I tend to use compression a little bit more than just a lead vocal, for example. So, the first plugin I have on the BGV bus on the chain actually is this plugin called DSR by Black Salt Audio. Um, company makes very great plugins. So this is actually a de-esser that I'm actually using to de-ess the whole group. So this plugin does very well with detecting S's and sibilants on multiple sources at one time. So we'll solo this. We'll cut off everything else in the chain and we'll just play with this de-esser off and put it back on. So here. I'm crazy. The truth is I'm kind of amazing. I'm not your cookie cutter girl. Straight out of space and I'll drink you. Cool. So let's edit it. They want me to think I'm crazy. The truth is I'm kind of amazing. I'm not your cookie. So it's just smoothing off those S's and T's, making it a little bit more smoother. Once you start to add a lot of EQ and compression, especially dealing with a lot of different audio sources, if everyone says an S at the same time, it becomes very noticeable. So the very first thing that I did was add this de-esser, which I totally love those de-essers by Black Salt Audio. And the next thing in the chain is Pro Q3. So we're EQing. We're taking a lot of the low end information that is not needed, and we're just notching out a whole bunch of frequencies that are honestly a bit resonant when all of the vocals come together. Now, when you are EQing these vocals separately, these particular frequencies don't make that much of a difference, but when it's compounded with all of these vocals all together, there's a lot of frequencies that are resonant, and then we're boosting a lot right here, 6K. So this is what it sounds like off. They want me to think I'm crazy. The truth is I'm kind of amazing. This is it on. They want me to think I'm crazy. The truth is I'm kind of amazing. Definitely way cleaner, a little bit more brighter, but not tinny at all. So so that is the Pro Q3. So that is the first EQ we have on it. The third plugin that we actually have in the chain is another plugin by Black Salt Audio. This is their BSA Clipper. So what it's doing is actually chopping off some of the peaks that are happening before it gets to a compressor, so the compressor can just focus on compressing and not necessarily be triggered by a whole bunch of those peaks. So this is what it sounds like with it off.
They want me to think I'm crazy. The truth is I'm kind of amazing. I'm not your cookie cutter girl.
Let's play this in the mix.
They want me to think I'm crazy. The truth is I'm kind of amazing.
Add it in.
They want me to think I'm crazy. The truth is I'm kind of amazing.
Obviously, you heard a volume jump as well, and if you looked on the meter, it is chopping off a lot of peaks right around -6 dB. Obviously, you heard it jump up in volume, but you also could see the peaks that it was chopping off right around -6 dB. So it's chopping off those peaks before it gets to the compressor so the compressor can work. And the actual compressor that we're using is this CompFet 76 compressor by Arturia. I absolutely love Arturia's plugins. When you get a chance, visit Arturia and check out their FX bundle pack, and there's a lot of plugins in there that you will love. So this is the 76 that I chose to use for this, and let's play this with it off and with it back in. The attack is semi-fast. The release is way faster than that. So let's play it with it off, add it back in, see what we get.
They want me to think I'm crazy. The truth is I'm kind of amazing.
Add it in.
They want me to think I'm crazy. The truth is I'm kind of amazing.
So we're roughly getting around -3 to -4 dB of gain reduction, and you can especially hear it on the Want Me. Truth is, when those sections get very loud, you can hear the compressor smoothing that off. With background vocals, you kind of want background vocals, especially, well, in the R&B genre, you will want them to kind of sit where they're supposed to sit. You just don't need them jumping out so much where they're not supposed to be jumping out. So that's what the compressor is doing. I love Arturia's plugins, so this is the compressor I chose to use. Next item on the chain is we're using the black box for saturation. You will play with it off, add it back in. We're only doing a little bit of saturation, and we're using the air knob, and you're going to hear how much this makes a difference. So this is with it off.
They want me to think I'm crazy. The truth is I'm kind of amazing. I'm not your cookie cutter girl.
With it in.
They want me to think I'm crazy. The truth is I'm kind of amazing. I'm not your cookie cutter girl.
So this plugin allows the vocals to sit right where it needs to sit in the mix, especially when it comes with the high end. It's not too much. So the next plugin on the chain is the Pre-Trid A. And this plugin was made after the Trident console, which is a great console. And this is honestly has grown to be one of my most favorite EQs that I use. All I'm doing here is just boosting a little bit at 12K after the saturation, and gives it just a little bit more air underneath it. So this is it with it off.
They want me to think I'm crazy. The truth is I'm kind of amazing. I'm not your cookie cutter girl.
This is it with it on.
They want me to think I'm crazy. The truth is I'm kind of amazing. I'm not your
Now the vocal is shining right where it needs to be. We're only boosting maybe about 3 dB of 12K. That's about it. No big moves. That's it. Adding just enough air that we need for it to sit in this mix. The last thing kind of on this chain is the Pro MB multi-band compressor by FabFilter. So what this is doing is multi-band compressing, but it's not compressing so much that you hear the compression. We're using this almost as a sculpting tool, almost like an EQ sculpting tool, but for certain bands of frequencies and for certain areas to fix certain problems. So what this is actually doing is this high mid section, and especially this low mid section, the lows for the vocals, we're trying to have those be consistent in the track, in different parts so that they're really heard, especially the low end of vocals, especially in the R&B genre. That is a staple, is to really be able to hear the low end vocals, the tonality, the tenors, all of that low end information in a vocal. So all of the attack and releases are as fast as it can be. We really don't want to hear the compressor, but we want the certain frequencies and resonances to be consistent throughout the actual song. So I will bypass it and we'll add it back in and you can hear how it sounds. With it on. Now you can hear with this effect, this technique, how the vocals come to life and now they sit present in your face where they need to be, supporting the lead vocal. So that was the last in that chain. So what we're also doing is we're sending the background vocals to a couple different places. So first we're sending it to this BGV Vox P comp. Really all this is parallel compression. We have the Waves SSL comp, and we're basically compressing roughly around 9 to 10 dB gain reduction. So let's cut this off and you can kind of hear how it sounds without parallel compression, and we'll just add it in. With now the vocals are sitting evenly, consistently across the mix, and that's what parallel compression can do for you. You blend it in the correct way with a lot of your vocals, drums, bass, things that fluctuate a lot. If you add in a parallel compression, what that does do is give you a consistency amongst the mix where you have it in it. So that's all I'm doing for parallel compression. The last place we're sending the background vocals is to the space verb. And I don't know why I called it space verb, but it's FabFilter Pro R. And we have 2.5 seconds of decay time. And it just gives a certain texture to the background vocals. So we will solo this and we'll play it with it on and off. So, well, off and on. Here we go.
They want me to think I'm crazy. The truth is I'm kind of amazing. I'm not your cookie cutter girl. Straight out of space and I'll jump your whole world.
With it.
They want me to think I'm crazy. The truth is I'm kind of amazing. I'm not your cookie.
Very natural, very clean, not super in your face. That's all we kind of needed for this song because there's a lot of moving parts. So for the background vocals, that's it. Now we can go to the lead vocal. So the lead vocal I do have in two parts, and same situation, kind of like the background vocals. Not much is actually happening on the individual tracks. They're actually being mixed through this bus called the Vox bus. So for this, we'll probably go to a verse. So
Why you don't make no new friends, Reese? All of my friends be delayed enemies. Y'all don't have to buzz me in, I'm here. I set the trends, I'm a whole like yeah. They see my treasure, don't wanna say I'm rich.
okay, cool. So that's a little bit of the verse. So let's go to the chain. Let's see what we're doing. So the very first thing on the chain, just like the background vocals, we're de-essing first. And it is the Black Salt Audio DSR again. Once again, I love this de-esser. If you need a de-esser, definitely check them out. So we'll play this on and off. Matter of fact, let's go to this vamp over here because she's rapping on this vamp. but it's very sibilant. So we'll play it with it off and then add it on. So
Star Trek star, superstar, galaxies, Wolverine, Thanos, Loki, Reese, still a beast. Introvert, isolation, betrayal is formulaic. Iverson, Brian, Jordan.
So you can definitely hear all the sibilants. Let's add it in.
Star Trek star, superstar, galaxies, Wolverine, Thanos, Loki, Reese, still a beast. Introvert, isolation, betrayal is formulaic. Iverson, Brian, Jordan.
So you can definitely hear how much taming of the sibilants that this plugin DSR is actually doing. It sounds very natural. So right after that, we go to our EQ, and it's the Pro Q3, rolling off all of the information we don't need. All of these are frequencies that are resonant. This frequency right here, was it like around 300? Yeah, like 299. Yeah, I'm very close. That frequency always kind of like bugs me a little bit. So we'll play this with it off and with it on.
Why you don't make no new friends free? All of my friends be delayed.
Let's add it.
Why you don't make no new friends free? All of my friends be delayed enemies. Y'all don't have to buzz me in, I'm here. I set the trends on my whole like yeah. They see my
cleans that up right away. So that's what we have for the EQ. Now we go to a compressor. Now this track, once again, was recorded through my 76 style compressor over here, outboard compressor. However, we didn't do that much at all on the way in, but it was on. So this is where all the heavy lifting of the compression comes. This plugin is called Vox Comp by Steinberg. It's a Cube-based stock plugin. This is a very, very, very good plugin. I actually use this over RVox and RComp. It's very similar, but for some reason, I just like the way how this sounds. So we will play this with the mix off, add it in, see what we're doing.
Why you don't make no new friends free? All of my friends be delayed enemies. Y'all don't have to buzz me in, I'm here.
All right, set it in.
Why you don't make no new friends free? All of my friends be delayed enemies. Y'all don't have to buzz me in, I'm here. I set the trends on my whole like yeah. They see my treasure on.
It just rounds the vocal off, smooths it up, and honestly, it just sounds like it gives the performance of the artist, like it sounds as if they recorded it with more confidence than what they did. You know, very good plugin, stock plugin by Cubase. I use that all the time. Now, saturation, similar to the background vocals, a little bit of saturation, pentode and triout straight up. On the flat setting, and just use it for a little bit of air. So this is what it sounds like without, and we'll add it back in.
Why you don't make no new friends free? All of my friends be delayed enemies. Y'all don't have to buzz me in, I'm here.
With?
Why you don't make no new friends free? All of my friends be delayed enemies. Y'all don't have.
Puts that vocal right where it needs to be, especially with the high end. Love this saturation plugin on vocals. Now we're going back to another EQ. We're going back to another pre-trad A from Arteria. Love this plugin again. We're at 12K boosting, just a little bit above 3K. Show you with it off and back on.
Why you don't make no new friends free? All of my friends be delayed enemies. Y'all don't have to buzz me in, I'm here.
With.
Why you don't make no new friends free? All of my friends be delayed enemies. Y'all don't have to buzz.
Just enough high end. I really love this EQ because it doesn't add too much. It's not brittle. It does just enough what you need. So I really do like this plugin for sculpting because the bands are not super tight. So you can do a lot of great movements with this. But once again, great EQ by Arteria. Now we're going back to another EQ, Pro Q3. After adding the saturation, I noticed that there were some areas that were poking out a little too much, around 1K, poking out just a little too much. And then I wanted to add some more low end into her vocal. So we'll do this without and add it back in, and you can hear what I'm saying.
Why you don't make no new friends? friends reach. All of my friends be delayed enemies. Y'all don't have to bust me in, I'm here.
With
Why you don't make no new friends reach? All of my friends be delayed enemies. Y'all don't have to bust me in, I'm here. I set the trends, I'm a whole like yeah.
just enough low end back end that we just needed. Just used the Pro Q3 because it's a little more transparent, but it definitely added back in that low frequencies that we were missing. So now we're back to the Fat Filter Pro MB, the multi-band compressor. So the same thing like the background vocals. We're trying to make sure that frequencies stay consistent throughout the whole song. This one, we're really only worried about the low end. All of the settings, once again, are on their fastest, attack and release, so we're not really hearing the compressor. But this is what this is doing. We'll take it off and add it back on, and you can really hear the fullness of her vocal.
Why you don't make no new friends reach? All of my friends be delayed enemies. Y'all don't have to bust me in, I'm here.
With
Why you don't make no new friends reach? All of my friends be delayed enemies. Y'all don't have to bust me in, I'm here. I set the trends, I'm a whole like yeah. They see my treasure, don't wanna say I'm rich.
it does just enough keeping that vocal consistent, especially with the low end that we wanted to add back in. So the very last plugin in this chain is the Fab Filter Pro DS. I added another de-esser due to the adding of the high end from the black box and the pre-treat. Things definitely became a little bit more sibilant again, especially when we got to that vamp when she's rapping. So once again, for the de-esser, we'll use this portion of the song just so you get an idea without, and then we'll add it back in.
Star, track star, superstar, galaxies, Wolverine, Thanos, Loki, Reese, still a beast. Introvert, isolation, betrayal is formulaic.
So that's without. Let's add it in.
Star, track star, superstar, galaxies, Wolverine, Thanos, Loki, Reese, still a beast. Introvert, isolation, betrayal is formulaic. Iverson, Bryant, Jordan.
So it did just what we needed. You can really hear how many S's that are in that line and in that verse that we needed to add another de-esser in there to help tame that, just so one de-esser isn't trying to do all the work. To get a lot of great results in mixing, try to do smaller increments in any adjustments that you're making. And if you need to add another one, then add another one, but make sure that they're small. The more that you overdo it, something with one plugin, you're probably doing more than what you just intend to do and affect it in a different way. So that's what's going on in this chain. Now we are sending this to a parallel compressor as well for the vocal. Once again, it's the Waves SSL comp, doing the same thing, roughly around 10 dB of gain reduction. We'll actually mute this track and then add it back in. You can hear exactly what's going on. Let's go back to this first verse.
Why you don't make no new friends reach? All of my friends be delayed enemies. Y'all don't have to bust me in, I'm here.
With
Why you don't make no new friends reach? All of my friends be delayed enemies. Y'all don't have to bust me in, I'm here.
it just makes the vocal shine in the center stage. It definitely makes it more stable, more present. You get more of every frequency, way more consistent, right where it needs to be, up front in your face. So that's where we have that sending. And then we also have it going to the lead vocal. We actually have it going to a stereo delay. The stereo delay, this delay that we're actually using is the Delay Brigade by Arturia. Once again, try Arturia's plugins. You're welcome. This is just giving a little bit of width to the main vocal. So we'll solo this and you can kind of hear it.
Why you don't make no new friends reach? All of my friends be delayed enemies. Y'all don't have to bust
With
Why you don't make no new friends?
I turn it up so you can really hear what it's doing.
Why you don't make no new friends reach? All of my friends be delayed enemies. Y'all don't have to bust me in, I'm here. I set the trends, I'm a whole like yeah.
So it gives just enough width, not too stereo-ish, not too much widening. That's not what we want. We just want a little bit more presence So that's what the delay brigade is doing. So the sync is on and it's synced to around a 30-second note just to give a little bit of width in the track. So that is the delay brigade. And the last thing that is being sent to is this reverb right here is the Valhalla verb, vintage verb. We have it on the setting, the Vox plate. I have the decay turned up to 1.34 seconds and the pre-delay at 20 milliseconds, just so that the main vocal has a chance to breathe first before the vocal actually starts taking effect. So we'll play this without and then add it back in, and you can kind of hear exactly what it's doing. So.
Why you don't make no new friends, Reese? All of my friends be delayed enemies. Y'all don't have to buzz me in, I'm here.
With.
Why you don't make no new friends, Reese? All of my friends be delayed enemies. Y'all don't have to buzz me in, I'm here.
Just enough space for this track. We did not need it to be super lush, super reverby. We just needed enough of it just to give it its proper space in the context of the mix. So the very last thing that I actually have happening to all of the vocals, and I actually just do this at once, is that I have all of the vocals. So the lead vocal going to the Vox bus and all the background vocals go to this BGV bus. I have all of those vocals, all the vocals in the song, they all go to a master Vox bus. So all those buses go to another bus. And on this bus, we just have soothe. That's all we have. The setting on here is the softer vocal treble. I do have it, the resolution turned up to ultra. And this is kind of what it's doing. I'll let you hear it. I try to do this amongst all vocals, especially when there's a lot of vocal tracks going on, just so that it catches a little bit of harshness and sibilance that may actually be occurring. Again, this is just like a safety measure-ish, you know, so each song is definitely different. This isn't a one size fits all. Some tracks that I don't record that I usually get may be a little bit harsher or so. So then obviously all the settings change because we're trying to dial in those specific frequencies. But this is exactly what it's doing. I will bypass it and then add it in. You can kind of hear what's going on.
They want me to think I'm crazy. The truth is I'm kind of amazing.
With.
They want me to think I'm crazy. The truth is I'm kind of amazing. I'm not your...
And this helps so much with all of those sibilance frequencies that are happening when you have multiple vocal tracks saying the same thing, and especially that part in the vent where she's rapping. This does a great job clamping down on those to where you can still hear the S and the T's, but they're not so piercing. So once again, I'll play with it off and just add it in and you can hear it.
They want me to think I'm crazy. The truth is I'm kind of amazing. They want me to think I'm crazy. The truth is I'm kind of amazing.
And there you have it. So that is the breakdown of the song Introvert by Reese Siren. I hope that you were able to get something from this that you could apply in your own music. Every song is different. Every song has no rules. You can actually be super creative in the things that you are doing and how you want to handle and manage it. But I hope that in dealing with R&B and pop vocals, you kind of get an idea of, at least my idea of how to handle it, and that you could possibly apply some of these techniques to your own music. And I would be very interested in hearing what you come up with. So thank you for joining me today. Before you leave, there is a bunch of free things in the description, so please help yourself, check it out. And before you leave, if you would, hit the like button, subscribe button, notification bells to get more videos like this, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.